Hey, Life Coach John Kelly here. I just want to start off by saying how proud I am of all of you. You did it. Just a few days left in our 21-day fast. Now, that doesn't mean there might not have been some hiccups along the way, right? Those of you fasting from sugars or certain types of foods, you might have gotten some cravings when you walk into Publix and you see the baker putting out freshly baked bread and cookies. And then those of you like me who gave up certain types of secular entertainment. You may have found yourself wanting to put on that old podcast or that old playlist, but you didn't. And that's amazing because I know how that urge feels because I had it myself. I normally listen to sports podcasts on my way to and from work. And when I would have that urge, but I would resist it and I would fill myself up with more of God. I look back now, those days went by very well for me. And I don't think that's a coincidence. But as you all know, when we're coming to the completion of something, when we're finishing something up, that's when our fatigue can set in, right? We may be hurting, we may be tired, we may be in pain, but we have to find something to focus on, something to motivate us, to not give up, to get through the hurt and get through the pain, because the prize is within reach, right? We have to find that one thing that's going to get us over that hump into the finish line. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hebrews 12:2 starts off by saying to fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. So there we have it, Life Coast. That one thing that we need to focus on, that one thing that's going to motivate us, that one thing that's going to get us to the finish line is Jesus, right? And I'm not just talking about in our fast. In a few days, it's going to be over. But for the rest of our lives, we need to remain obedient and fix our eyes on the cross. So now why? Why should we fix our eyes on Jesus? Well, I looked it up, and there were some studies done that showed whatever we concentrate our eyes on, our mental focus follows suit. So we're gonna do exactly what we're fixing our eyes on. And the author of Hebrews, he says Jesus is the pioneer and the perfecter of our faith. We can take those words, pioneer and perfecter, we could swap them out with author and finisher. What better role model to have than the person who's wrote the story, lived it out, and seen it to completion, right? The person who's been in our shoes, walked the earth, defeated death and sin, right? I mean, I look at sports, and when a team is down to their last possession of the game and they need to score to win, who do they turn their focus to? They look at the best player. They put all their faith and trust in him to get them out of the game with a win. And when he does, what do they say? They say he saved the day. He's our savior. Well, Life Coach, we already know who our savior is. And he's defeated and won every battle that's been put before him. So why not fix our eyes on him, right? We completely focus on Jesus. We don't let any worldly things creep in. There's no room for them to creep in and deter us on seeing what truly matters, right? We need to fix our eyes on Jesus, and because we can't lose sight of what God has planned for us, because Jesus didn't lose sight of what God had planned for him. In Philippians 1:6, it says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. So guys, when you feel like you're done, like you can't go on, you have nothing left to give, it's okay, because God's not done with you. He's going to get us to that finish line. Guys, I pray that everyone that has done this fast has experienced or will experience God moving in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. Life Coast, our race is not over. So I implore you to please fix your eyes on Jesus and watch what he does, not only in our lives, but in our community and in our world. I love you, Life Coast.